Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am joined today by the lovely Jen Ross of Pretty Neat Living.
Wait, we were just talking about this.
We were just talking about this emoji, yes. The lovely Jen Ross. We are here, well, she lives in the Chicagoland area. We're both here in Chicago for the Chicago Planner Conference, and I asked if we could find some time to chat. So for the past couple of Fridays, we've been doing a series where I've been meeting with different amazing women in this amazing community and talking about things that they have knowledge on and things that you have asked for more information on. So we have been with Brooke, Kayla, and Sam, and now we are here today with Jen.
Hi.
And before we get into it, I'm gonna let her introduce herself a little bit, maybe a little bit background. What do you do in the internet space?
What do I do on the internet?
What do you do?
I hang out.
You hang out. I don't know. Just a little bit about you.
I've been hanging out on the internet since 2010.
That's a long time.
You know, it's like being married. It feels like a long time, but not a long time. But my channel's Pretty Neat Living, and I basically just talk about life lately. But sometimes I show some organization stuff, talk about planners, scrapbooking, memory keeping, all that good stuff.
Mom. She has two little ones. So the topic I wanted to chat with Jen about today is something that you've asked in the comments, and that is the One Little Word Project by Ali Edwards. I feel like a lot of people compare that. Have you ever heard of the Power Sheets, the Cultivate What Matters Power Sheet? So it's a goal-setting planner.
Okay.
And it kind of walks you through the year, and you set a bunch of goals. And there's also a picking a word of the year that's a part of it. So I think that's the only real thing that overlaps, and people try and compare them. So every time I've shared a video about them, people are like, well, why did you pick this over the one little word? And I'm like, they're kind of different.
So like planner versus memory keeping.
Yes, it is a lot more planning about your goals versus memory keeping. Okay. And so I think that that's the biggest difference. And again, I think the only big overlap is that you're picking a word of the year. Sure. And you're focusing on that in some regards.
But you don't need either of those things to pick a word of the year.
That's also very true. You can do a lot of things picking a word of the year. I've also heard people pick phrases of the year, which I think
like
is
a
really
mantra.
cool, like a mantra. So this is your third year?
Yeah, it's my third year doing this specific project. I tried to do it the first year that when Cece was born, but I fell through with it. That didn't
really pan out.
That didn't pan out.
New mom life.
Yeah, but I got into the swing of it and I figured it out for the last couple of years. So now I'm on my third official year.
Okay, so I wanted her to just chat a little bit about it. I'm gonna ask her a couple of questions just so that you can get a better understanding of what it is, and I can maybe provide a little bit of color how it compares to the Power Sheets, if it does at all. And then she has a couple of other videos talking about it too, and we'll link those below if you want more information. Yeah, she's flipped through like whole end of year albums of it.
That's the thing with the Ali Edwards. It is, if you do the class and buy the products, it's more of like a memory keeping zone. Right,
as opposed to, I don't intend my like Power Sheets goal planner, I don't plan to look at them after this year.
Right. I'm a memory keeper, so I love that piece of it, but you don't actually have to do the memory keeping part to be a part of the Ali Edwards classroom. Like it's basically just guided prompts. It's a monthly class that you subscribe to, and you pay for it. I think it's like $30 or something.
For the whole year. Oh.
Yeah, and she releases a classroom every month at the beginning of the month, and it's a video, and she talks through the prompt for the month, and she shows you how she is working with that prompt with her word in her physical album. But you could just listen to the class, you could journal, or you could just do nothing at all and just listen. You don't have to actually do the crafting piece.
Okay.
I personally enjoy the crafting piece because it ties in whatever part of my brain. It kind of just really solidifies the prompt for me, having something that I make with my hands with it.
That makes sense. As a creative person, that outlet of it also probably is nice to have as well.
That being said, it's not super time consuming. I've had lots of people ask me like, oh, that must take so much time. But the class, I think she does videos and a PDF handout. I think the videos are usually 2 or 3 videos she does, and they're less than an hour total.
Okay.
And
each month.
And then it probably takes me about an hour to work on them. Okay. Depending on the prompt. Like this past month in February, it's been a vision board. So that could be a longer project. If you're thinking about flipping through magazines or wherever you're getting your clippings from to make a physical vision board, that could take a little bit. This is the most long, involved one that I feel like I've done with her. But that's something I want to spend more time on.
Okay.
Anyway, so, but basically it's like 2 hours a month that I dedicate to this, but the rewards are just limitless to me. It's such a powerful way to frame frame your experience of a year. And like I said, I don't think you need to do the crafting bit. That just works for me. But having a word that you focus on, that you journey through the year with, it's just not something I would have thought to do on my own.
Right, yeah, me neither.
There's something about it because your life, you don't really, you do the same tasks every day of your life for the most part. Everything's pretty kind of regimented and similar. But you change and things change and you don't even notice it because everything changes, not everything, but lots of things change very slowly in small ways. And having this like overarching theme to the year helps you really notice those changes and notice your growth. For me, it's been a lot about noticing growth that I wouldn't otherwise witness, really. So that's why I like it so much.
So let's talk a little bit about the crafting piece. You buy the products from her. You can. If you want to do the crafting piece, you can buy the products from her. And there's an album, there's all kinds of like, there's papers and die cuts and all kinds of stuff.
There's a kit. Usually she releases an album and then a kit. And then she uses the products, obviously as any good business person would, in her classes. She shows you how she uses them, which you want anyway if you're buying her products. I mean, that's what I want as a consumer. But that being said, you absolutely do not have to use those products. I love her products. Personally, I really like her style. She designs products that are very easy to use, I think, for a variety of styles and personalities, and they're also literally easy to use. They're not complicated. It's not overcomplicated. It's very kind of simple memory keeping or crafting, whatever you want to call it. I think it just is very accessible, and her whole vibe to me as a memory keeper is very accessible. I don't have like a ton of time to sit down every day and work on huge, like detailed 12 by 12 traditional scrapbook layouts. If that's like your jam and that's what you need to feel like creative and that's how, whatever, you do you. But I just, like, I'm not doing that. Not at this stage.
There's no time for it.
No, and quite frankly, I'm not artistic enough for that. But I love her stuff because you could do that with her products, or you could take it in her route, which she shows you, and get crafty with it, but it's easy. And it's just, everything's very streamlined, just stylistically. So you can mix and match products from different things she releases a ton of products throughout the year, and they're all they all go together well.
So if you're using a different, not necessarily the one little word kit, but if you're buying some other kit, it can go together.
A lot of her stuff is, a lot of her graphics is in her handwriting, which is very cool.
That's cool.
And it's like across the board, all year long of her products. So you can mix and match. It's not like you have different type fonts for different,
Right, and then it looks all over the place.
Exactly. So you can really use from your stash, if you're like me and you just have so many Allie Edwards products. But yeah, I do like her products for that reason. And her products and her classes are what made me return to memory keeping after so many years away from it.
That's cool.
Because it just felt, like I said, much more accessible.
Right. Was that around the time that you started having kids? Was that like
That's
you
when
wanted
I
the memory keep for the kids aspect of it? Because sometimes without kids, I'm like, am I really memory keeping like Sam and I going to this like show on a Saturday night?
I did in the first like half of my marriage, I would say. I did scrapbook a lot and I enjoyed it. And then I just came away from it, But then when, like you said, when I had kids, I was like, well, I want to preserve this for eternity.
Exactly. I want this documented. So in terms of each month, is it something that you do at the beginning of the month, like looking forward, or is it something you do at the end of the month, like reflecting back?
So the way she structures her classes is the class is released on the website on the first of each month. And then sometimes it's a project that you can carry with you through the month. Just like something you consider or think about. And sometimes it's something you do like one-off right there. I tend to not get to the project till the end of the month just because, life. Ideally, I'd like to do them on the first of the month. But it's really, the way that they are set up, you can really come to it whenever you are ready. For instance, after I had Donnie, I didn't pick up the project for 4 or 5 months at all. And then in June last year, I did like 4 or 5 months worth of
you caught up
prompts all in 1 month.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I had also already done the project in the year the previous year, so I kind of knew she does some new things every year and some things that she kind of ties back in year after year. So I kind of knew some of the ones that she would be working on, and I had them kind of in the back burner. So
thinking about
it worked out that I was able to still, come to the class later and have it be effective. Even though I wasn't doing it on the time.
On the month.
Yeah.
So back to that, some of the things she does year after year.
Yes.
And then some years there's some new things that she pulls in.
She always starts the year with a lot of journaling. Like the January prompt is a lot of like goal setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's January.
And it's a prompt that she provides for you, like a specific thing that you can, if you're doing an album, you can put in your album or in your journal or whatever. It's the same every year, which I appreciate. And then she usually does a vision board in February.
Okay.
And then mid-year, she'll do kind of like a mid-year, bringing it back to the beginning, kind of reflecting back to January, reading what you did, kind of
like a check-in.
Yeah, and then at the end of the year, she does a recap thing that's very similar. And then things that are sprinkled through without, there's usually like a photo journaling kind of month.
Okay, that's cool.
And I'm trying to think. Those are the ones that stand out in my memory. But yeah, I like that she also incorporates new prompts.
Right, so it's not the same thing year after year, although it's a new word, so it's a new journey. Now, does she have anything that helps you figure out the word, or are you just kind of on your own trying to figure out what the word should be?
I think she starts talking about looking at a new word for the next year around November.
Okay.
I wouldn't say there's any like direct influencing there.
Okay.
It's more of a gentle encouraging.
Okay.
But what she emphasizes is taking time and just letting it come to you. Okay. And at first I was like, what is going to come to me? Nothing's going to come to me. But
sleep.
I've noticed over time that I can, if I am really reflective, something stands out even from the last year when I'm working on, whatever word that is. Another word will pop up. So for instance, my word for 2017 was create.
Okay.
And throughout that word, it's 2018. Yeah, 2018 was create. And throughout that year, I kept noticing the word connect, and connection was popping up a lot for me in my journaling and my thinking and everything. And even on, my online stuff, I was talking about connections a lot. And so when I sat down to really think about what word I wanted for 2019, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I was like, well, duh.
It's like, it's been right there all year long.
It's literally like in big writing everywhere.
Right there. That's really cool. So your word for this year is connect. Mm-hmm. That's cool. I feel like that's a big difference. On the power sheets, there's a lot of guiding to get you to your word. There's a lot of questions and journaling that you're supposed to answer, and then you go back and you read the responses and you try and like circle common themes, and then your word is supposed to reveal itself through all that prep work. Okay. So I think that's part of it as well.
That could be a helpful piece.
Yeah, I almost, as you're describing it, I almost think if you really wanted to be over the top, you could do both. Because they sound very different, and the only overlap is that you have a word, and so you end up with your word from going through the Power Sheets prep work, and then you could go do the Ali Edwards project.
Interestingly, she came out with an accompanying journal this year. That I don't know, I haven't seen the other planner, but it could be similar. It's almost like a one little word planner.
Okay, yes, because I feel like the one little word is more. It's about the word, and it's about reflection and your journey with that word, and it's not necessarily like your specific goals for yourself.
It is, but it isn't.
Okay.
I agree with you. It's a bit more reflective than action.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you have your goal, your word is connect, but if you had a goal to like work on your health, and maybe that does still relate because you're connecting with your body, you're connecting with yourself, but the actual action steps that you're going to take to work on your health, is that going to show up in your one little word stuff?
It does.
Okay.
I think a lot of her prompts do encourage that, but it's not the main focus. The main focus, at least from my perspective, is reflective. Okay. To me, that's a critical step.
Yes.
In then going towards action.
Doing the actions, absolutely. Yeah. And that's the opposite. The power sheets are a lot about action, and it's what are the steps that you're taking.
See, I find that a little bit overwhelming.
It can be. It definitely can be.
If that's presented to me like really firmly first, you have to treat me gently.
Just gotta be kind.
Ease me into the action.
And there is a lot of reflection before. Like there's a lot of like questions that they have at the beginning before you pick your goals. So the basic is that you go through this prep work, and there's a lot of questions and reflection from past years, even from past like your entire life, like things that you think about yourself and how it's kind of, it gets to be a little deep.
That is deep.
And then you set your goals for the year.
Okay.
And then you set action steps for those goals, for those specific goals.
Okay.
So it is there is some reflection, but it is also super practical, and that's the point. It's like, I think, is the practicality of it.
It's more to the point.
Yes, because I think their vision is that a lot of people set goals every year, but then don't make a plan to do something about them. Which is like, you say, I want to do this, that, and this, but like, okay, well, what needs to happen for that to happen?
Right. And you see, I am one of those people. Even though I'm extremely self-driven, I consider myself a self-driven person. Mm-hmm. I find that I am now, having done One Little Word for a few years, much more active in goal getting.
Yeah, being a goal getter.
Having this way of looking at my experience, my journey.
Right.
So I think it might just be down to personality.
I think that's also probably a huge part of it. I mean, if you're not a creative person at all, if you don't like to be creative, which if you are watching this, you probably are some sort of a creative, then that the project might not be for you in general. But again, it could also be personality. If you're somebody that needs that hand-holding and that accountability, then you might need the more structure. But if you're someone who is a lot more self-driven, then the open-endedness might be better.
That's interesting, because I would have put it in the opposite way.
Really?
I feel like the reflective process is a lot more hand-holding.
That's so funny. Now, see, I was thinking the reflective process isn't giving me anywhere to put specific action items.
Oh, there is in January.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's very open-ended. It's not super specific.
I need structure.
I see.
I need they even break it down between monthly, weekly, and daily.
Oh gosh, see, that's way too much for me. That gives me anxiety.
Okay, yeah, and that again is personality.
Exactly.
I need that. I need someone to be like, no, these are the things you're going to do this month, this like each week and each day.
This is the difference between a structured planner and an unstructured planner.
And a bullet journal and a not. And
yes,
I can't bullet journal.
No, I think that's a good analogy.
Comparison. Yeah. I need the week to already be there, the bones to be there.
Right, and whereas I want to be able to make
freedom.
it.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
Interesting. Oh, we're getting deep.
We're getting somewhere. Is there anything else about the One Little Word project that you think has made just a huge impact on you?
I don't mean to sound like overly sappy, but I really like Allie as a person. If
Okay.
you watch any of my videos lately, this comes across because I talk about her a little bit.
That's okay.
Overboard. But it's honestly, she's just one of those people that has made a huge impact in my life, never having met her, not knowing her personally. Just her general vibe and her approach to the journey of life and the way that she just makes it feel accessible and like it's okay to think about life in that way. I feel like in this day and age, sometimes it's kind of like looked down on to be like super self-reflective because it's not like productive, but it is completely productive. If you are growing and furthering yourself in your journey of life, that has a huge ripple effect on the other people in your life, and then outward and outward. I mean, I couldn't imagine doing this project without Allie. Like, even though I've taken the class and a lot of it is very similar, she always refilms. She doesn't repost old content.
Wow, that is really cool.
She rewrites her handouts. She takes new photos. She releases new products, and she films new classes.
Wow.
So even if she's talking about something
she's
she's been doing this for I think she's been doing the class for 7 or 11 years. I can't remember which one it is. At any rate, she has, it's fresh each time. You're not seeing a video from 2015.
Right, talking about, even if you're doing the same prompt, it's something she's
refilming. Yeah, and she gives you her new perspective, and she shares so much of her personal life and her personal journey, which is the piece that makes a big difference to me because I relate to that. I relate to somebody else sharing personally like that. And as an online person, I am just in awe of all that she shares because it is not easy to share.
No. Especially
the tough stuff. Yep. And she's definitely gone through some really difficult things. And she shares with courage and with kindness to herself and to others. And that's so strong and brave brave, and that encourages me to share more authentically like that. So that would be the last piece she is the reason that I come back to that class. Yes, maybe I would do the project without the class.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be the same for me because her presence is a huge
part of it
for me.
That's really cool. Thank you for sharing. All right, and as we've done in the other videos, we have 2 questions for everybody. So the first one, and we talk a lot about goals on my channel.
Not who my celebrity freebie is.
Oh my gosh, no. What did you end up saying?
I couldn't think of anybody, so Sam was like, oh, well, let me throw a few out at you. I don't remember the first one she said.
So this was on a panel yesterday where Sam from Erin Condren asked who their celebrity freebie would be.
Was it like Matthew McConaughey or something? I was like, ooh. And then she said Usher, and I was like, and then she said Zac Efron. I said, he's too little. He's not too little. He's too young.
He's too young.
He's a baby.
I'm like,
maybe Usher. I don't know.
That's so funny. I did see something on Instagram about something about Jen wouldn't date Zac Efron or something like that.
Gosh.
So now I know where that came from. So no, the question is, what is one goal that you have for 2019? It can be little, big, it can be personal, it can be professional.
Well, tying it back into the topic of this video, it's really for me connecting. I've struggled with social anxiety and feeling like I can really be myself in person. With other people, and I've been making huge strides in that, and I just want to continue my work with that, making connections with others, both virtually and in IRL.
and IRL. So we're here today. All right, and then the last question is, what is your #1 planner supply?
It has to be my Leuchtturm 1917.
Ooh, as we talked about, look at that. Oh, that's pretty on the outside.
That sticker doesn't come with it. Well, I bought that on Etsy. But this is the notebook I use for bullet journaling.
That's awesome.
Couldn't live without it.
That's your go-to planner now.
Yeah.
It's bullet journaling.
Yep.
I tried it. If you've been around, you saw the attempt. I attempted it, and it was an absolute fail. So
it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
Works for me well though.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us. This was fun.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you so much for watching.
Subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm doing my brain today. I feel like I just haven't had I haven't had tea. Yeah, I have because I woke up late and running around. Have you seen the trailer for Frozen 2?
Yes, I just saw it, and I'm like, what
happened? It doesn't even. They don't give you anything.
It's like a Superwoman movie. I don't understand.
I don't understand.
Where's the songs and Disney?
It is not Disney. It feels very ominous.
I'm a little afraid to show Charlotte, but she actually loves the scary, what she calls the mad part in movies.
Oh, the mad part.
Yeah. We're back to snowing.
It's snowing again. Okay.